Welcome to the LawyerFair.co.uk daily podcast. LawyerFair helps businesses find the right lawyer at the fairest price. But on this podcast, we just chew the fat with some great guests.
Okay, it's the LawyerFair Daily Podcast, and it's Andrew Weaver, CEO of LawyerFair.co.uk, foolishly scratching my head because normally these are audio recordings, but we are actually going to try and make this a video recording. So perhaps scratching my head wasn't the best start, but I'm going to welcome today Yoav calling in from Tel Aviv. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Not at all. Great to see you. How's the weather over in Tel Aviv?
Warm and wonderful, as always.
Yeah, listen, I know you work a lot in London, so you'll be getting familiar with the English approach to the first question ever asked is, how's the weather?
Definitely.
And normally over a cup of tea, which I also have here. So I am classically English, though. Now listen, you're going to tell us all about the fantastic product that you have created and are currently have launched recently in London and in the UK. We're going to go into more detail, but just give us a bit of background about is it WannA? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. WannA.
Which is a parenting app. Sorry, I'm just going to jump in. I know I shouldn't be.
Yeah, go ahead.
But just for those that are listening, some people are familiar that I sometimes have struggled with timekeeping. Okay, but I always blame my child, which clearly you have a child, you've got to blame it, But I thought there's one company, one service which would allow me that is a parenting app this morning. So sorry for the delay, but fire away with what you're doing.
Yeah, so WannA is what we call a parenting marketplace. It's a place where a parent can both buy and sell goods and services locally. So the idea about it is to create a one-stop shop for parents for their day-to-day wants and needs. For example, if you're looking for, let's say, a pram or a maxi-cozy car seat, for example. So all you have to do is very simple to post a WannA saying, I want to buy a maxi-cozy car seat, for example, or I want to hire a babysitter, or I want to find a guitar tutor to my boy. And we're taking it from there. We are matching between the wants and needs of one another within the community based on content and location. So you're like walking with a virtual bulletin board above your head and you're getting push notifications saying, hi, WannA just found you a match. And it works really awesome.
Well, I mean, the sharing economy is reaching into every single marketplace. So to see it into this, which again, I have personal interest in, maxi-coxy, I never knew the word of it until 2 years ago. So what's the background, when did it start? How did it start? Why did it start?
All right, so WannA, I think we started the company almost 2 years ago. We developed it, I'd say, for 9 months in Israel. And then we launched it. Our first launch was in Tel Aviv. We launched it. It worked very good, very well in Israel for 3-4 months. And then we raised our first founding round, our seed round. And we took it to London. We developed our 2.0 version. We got accepted to Seedcamp Accelerator Fund, which is based in London. We worked in London for, I'd say, 3 months with the Seedcamp team, and we made the messaging clearer, and we actually made a product market fit to fit the UK market, which is quite different from the Israeli one. And then we, a month ago, we launched it in London, and to be specific, in the north side of London.
Well, there are certain pockets of London where you should be concentrating your early strategy, I'm sure. Well, that moves me on nicely to, there's a really great blog, if anybody's interested, in the challenges of a startup, essentially moving into another country. And there's a brilliant set of blogs, but one in particular on the WannA site, which Yoav is going to go into in a bit more detail now. And those are the challenges about, how do you launch something that only comes to life online and no one knows about it in the UK? And you went through a very specific process in doing that. Could you explain a bit more about what happened?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think that every product that you're launching has its own difficulties, if you like, but especially a location-based product and a location-based app has its own problems. It's an empty room of users, an empty room of inventory, building the brand, a lot of stuff. So I think that what was very important for us from day one is to have better understanding, especially because we're coming from Israel, better understanding of the atmosphere in London. Where are the best places for us to launch? Because it's not like we're launching and we're conquering London. It's just planting the seed in specific neighborhoods that we think that really fits our demographics, because we are targeting parents, young parents. And what we did is we created a heat map of all of the neighborhoods in London. We used the 2011 Sinuses report, and based on that, we built I think, a very good heat map. And we saw that in terms of demographics and number of parents and the income and so on and so forth, the northern side of London, if it's Mill Hill and Golders Green and East Finchley and Muswell Hill, are very good places for us to start. Mm-hmm. And then what we did is we started to engage with the community. Engaging with the community meaning is to be very active on Facebook groups and to be very active, online active, and be in touch with the local bloggers. We actually we did a launching event with almost 40 bloggers from London, and especially from the northern side of London, to create awareness. And we launched a community champion program that we incentivize what we call a community champion, that spreading the word of WannA to its surrounding, and we're incentivizing them for every install. And of course, on top of all of that, we are doing Facebook campaigns and that are very, very local. And our go-to-market strategy is planting the seed in the northern side of London, and from there, watering new seeds that are coming out of the neighborhoods, and it's going out very well. And last thing that I will mention, and this is something that is very, very important for us at WannA, is the user experience and the giving our user true user value. I believe that the best growth, I think, for every product is word-to-mouth growth. And a user that is getting the wow experience, wow, it's working, he's spreading the word, and we're putting a lot of efforts on that section in particular.
Well, it's fascinating, and I think that, I mean, as we discussed before we started recording, Yoav, I'm interested as much in the process of what you're going through, because that laser focus, that focus on getting it right within a very, very narrow targeted market. Classically, Uber, of course, do very similar things when they go into a city. But that because it gives you two things, doesn't it? It gives you immediate learning, but it also gives you that viral word of mouth, which really is how you scale.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
You know, you can throw thousands of pounds at various other things and agents and AdWords, but if your early customer base doesn't love you, you're going to go nowhere.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more. But by the way, what we did, the empty room in a product such as ours is very, very important. And we brought, even before launch, we did some, we call it pre-launch activities. And we brought users waiting from the WannA launch, especially service providers such as childcare experts and nannies and face painters and cleaners and service providers that we assumed that the parents will like to consume their services. Yeah. And we brought also inventory from lots of places. And then when our first users came into the app, it wasn't empty for them. They saw a lot of inventory, many users, and it's awesome.
It's fascinating. And tell me this, the cultural differences which you referenced at the very beginning. I mean, I've got a Spanish wife, therefore a Spanish half of the family is, so my daughter is being dictated to by two slightly different parenting cultures, but they are quite distinctively different. I mean, I'll give you one quick example, is the piercing of the ears. I know this isn't an area, but in Spain it's very traditional to pierce the ears of the daughter quite early, and in England, absolutely not. So, you know, there's immediate issues there. I mean, what did you find in terms of bringing this across from Israel, from Tel Aviv?
Well, I think it's very interesting because when we first, I have to say, set our foot in London, I was a bit worried how will the adoption be? If the London market and the UK market has a fit to a product such as WannA. Because they have, of course, Gumtree, and we have applications like Wallapop and Spock, the German application Spock. And I was wondering about the community atmosphere and the second-hand scene and so on and so forth. And I was very delighted to find out that while I thought that Tel Aviv and Israel is a very good place for WannA, and it is, London apparently is even a better place for a product like WannA because of few very important elements. First, there is a real community atmosphere. I think that there is a community. You can see that there is I don't know, a sense of helping others and volunteering, and we see it a lot in NCT, for example, the National Child Trust involvement and so on. And so there is a community sense. So that's one. Second thing, that it's not in Israel, the word charity is something, of course, that you give to charity, but not always you're not going to charity shops. It's not considered to be something very common. In the UK, I think the word charity has maybe a little bit of different meaning, because you definitely you're looking for bargains, and you're definitely you are buying secondhand stuff. Someone told me that Tony Blair's wife first sold her shoes on eBay, so it became very common to do that. So there is a real scene, and we're seeing that in our inventory today, and it's very interesting because it's quite different from the inventory that we saw in Israel. I'll give you a quick example: newborn clothes. We have so many of users looking for newborn stuff for clothing to buy and sell. So we have so many matches. And another thing, that the fact that we made it a 100% parent-proof environment. So I think that and almost 100% of our inventory is parents related. So we have a large common denominator of wants and needs, especially in the UK and especially in London. So I have so many matches. Prams and coats and Moses baskets and car seats and whatever you like, we have it. So it's very, very engaging.
I think it's fascinating. I'm sitting here actually looking across at an unwanted, and I have to say unloved, Moses basket. She never quite took to it. So I think you could well have another subscriber once I explain this to Amaya. Listen, it's been brilliant. Thank you so much. I mean, the other quick thing I was thinking about while you were talking there was, it's amazing. It's another one of those ideas where you think, well, why didn't someone do this before? Because on the street we're on in West London, which is a really nice community street, it's the most community-driven street I've ever lived on. It's still this incredibly ad hoc. Do you want this? You know, do you need that? Of course, if someone within the nearest 10 houses doesn't, then it probably goes to charity, frankly. Mm-hmm. So this gives people a fantastic opportunity to actually do it properly in a much more coordinated way. So I think you're onto a winner, and I wish you the very best of luck with it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. By all means, download the app, and I hope that all of our audience will go on a parenting marketplace.
I suspect Amaya Garcia will be downloading that this evening. And listen, we'll have more information on more information about the website with the video that we send out, the recording that we send out. But Yoav, thanks again. You're in London very soon, I think. Are you kind of driving? Are you part of the London team, or are you? How do you split your time?
Most of the time I spend in London.
Okay.
Now it's vacation, so I'm a little bit in Israel, but from the 7th I'm coming back to London for a while, and I'm there to stay.
Well, good luck. Well, maybe we can catch up with another chat in due course.
Perfect.
Thanks, Yoav. All the best.
All right, thank you so much.
Cheers. That was bye-bye. That was the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. More to follow tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the LawyerFair.co.uk Daily Podcast. If you'd like to listen to more, why not subscribe and download each episode via iTunes, or visit us on the LawyerFair.co.uk website.